When it comes to working inside of the terminal, you can never remember all of the commands that are available to you. There are just too many commands. So this is where utilizing cheat sheets becomes very, very useful. I love cheat sheets. I use them every day. And in this video, I'm going to show you my 3 go-to tools when it comes to using cheat sheets inside of the terminal. Let's go ahead and get started. So this is the GitHub page for Cheat.sh. It is described as the only cheat sheet that you need. Very nice to run in the terminal. I love this. This is what I want to see inside of my terminal. And you can use this to get a lot of information, right? So let's show an example of that in the terminal. So if I run curl just on Cheat.sh, that is what we get back right there. And I absolutely love that. I love that. I mean, this is the epitome of terminal art / getting information back in the terminal. This is amazing. So the very first example is for the ls command. So if you wanted to get back a cheat sheet for the ls command, you could rerun curl on cheat.sh with a / and then put in the command that you want the cheat sheet on. So we're gonna do this for ls, and that is the online cheat sheet for ls. So let me show you something with cheat.sh that is pretty cool, and it's also unique to this tool. So we know that Python is a programming language, but technically it's also a command. So if I run curl on cheat.sh and throw Python in there, first and foremost, we do get back various Python commands, right? But you can actually use Cheat.sh to begin learning the Python programming language. And this is the only tool of the ones that I am showing you in this video where you can do something like this. This definitely goes above and beyond what I am interested in doing with cheat sheets, but I have to at least show you guys this, because if not, one, I will get harassed in the comments about how I didn't mention this, and it is worth mentioning. So if I rerun that command and I add on to it another / followed by a colon followed by learn, we can now go from just accessing a basic cheat sheet to trying to learn the basics of the Python programming language. And you have this ability to do this with somewhere around 50 different programming languages, to my understanding. So you can actually use Cheat.sh to begin the process of learning a programming language. That is definitely very cool. And you see we have quite a bit, we have a lot of information here. It is suggested to you that you might want to pipe this into less and add on a -R, and that way you can essentially go through this page by page by hitting the space bar. But this is definitely very interesting. For me, as I said, it's overkill. I'm not, if I wanted to start learning a programming language, there are other ways that I would go about doing that. Another benefit with Cheat.sh is its ability to allow you to search for keywords. So an example of that, going back to Python, you could run the curl command on Cheat.sh and type in Python, and this time instead of a colon and learn, we're just gonna search for a keyword. So I'm gonna search for something related to the word server, and what I get back is that exact command that I would have been looking for if I wanted to start up the very well-known, very much used simple HTTPS server Python module. And here is that actual command, python 3-m http.server. So I did find that to be pretty useful. I want to bring it back to the main purpose, the main reason why I would be using this and why I would be using any of these other utilities that we are going to get into. That is simply to pull up cheat sheets on your one-word command. The next one is called tldr. If you are interested in installing this, the package is called tldr. So we can run apt info on tldr. This is a very fast CLI implementation of tldr, the collaborative cheat sheets of console commands. tldr is awesome. I love tldr. So if you want to install and use tldr, you're going to have to run sudo apt install tldr. Alright, so that has completed. Now if I run which on tldr, we have a path. Let's go ahead and pull up the help menu for this by running tldr with -- help. And it's got a very nice set of help options. So you can actually list out all the commands in the cache by running -l. If we run tldr with -l, we don't even get anything back because we first need to run update to download the cache. So let's run tldr -- update to download the cache. So it created this directory, and this is where it's now going to store the tldr pages. And this is very important because this allows you to go from needing access to the internet to now having tldr pages stored on your machine in cache. Alright, so the cache was successfully created. Now let's rerun tldr with -l. We have a list of cheat sheets available to us now, and as I said, the best part is that these are now all on our system. So before running that command, you could still access the cheat sheets, but you'd only be able to access them if you had a connection to the internet. And as you can see, there are a lot of cheat sheets, and they're all broken down in alphabetical order. We got a lot of stuff here. Chances are, if you need a cheat sheet for something, you now have it. So let's go back to the ls command. So let's run tldr on the ls command. So this is what the cheat sheet looks like. Very helpful. You can even run tldr on tldr. So let's run tldr on adb. We use adb a lot. Now as you can see, this is actually very limited. There's not a lot here. This is very limited. This is very basic. Now, of the 3 tools that I'm showing you, by far my favorite and the one I use the most is Cheat. And there's a couple reasons why, but perhaps the main reason is because you're able to use Cheat offline. You don't need to have access to the internet. And that's important because when you're doing things like working with phones in a controlled lab environment, and that phone might have spyware on it, you don't want to have access to the internet, but I do want to have access to my cheat sheets. So that is why I tend to use Cheat more than any other tool. So let's take a look at Cheat. So this is Cheat. This is my favorite of the 3. So this not only allows you to create cheat sheets, but it is entirely offline. So that check marks all the boxes for me. Colorization, looks good in the terminal, offline, and it allows you to create your own. Yes, this one is the clear winner for me. So as you can see, they all use this same format. Now with Cheat, the cheat sheets, they start with this header that is in a YAML format. And you need to understand this if you're actually going to create your own cheat sheet, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. When it comes to installing this one, you have a couple of different ways of installing it. The easiest way is going to be by using a snap package. If you're on Ubuntu, then you have snap packages already available to you. Snap packages are essentially like little apps for Linux. Most of them are command line based. Some of them do have GUIs. But it's like a command line app on Linux. Snap is not pre-installed on Kali Linux. I do have it installed because I love snap packages. That's a separate video, but that's okay. If you don't want to install Snap, they have instructions on this page to install this manually, and it's right here. There's a link for it on the page. So we're going to go ahead and open that up, and this provides you with the instructions on installing Cheat manually. This is by far, in my opinion, the best of the 3 tools. You have more options than with any of the other tools, because you can create your own cheat sheets. You can also get very deep into customizing the look of it, the colorization, and I love that. So these are the commands to install Cheat manually, and they work. I have verified these. So you either run these commands manually. There's also instructions to use Go, which is pretty cool. But because I already have Snap installed, I'm going to use Snap. I can run snap info on Cheat. This will pull up some information for Cheat. Cheat allows you to create and view interactive cheat sheets on a command line. So this is the cheat that we are interested in, and to install it, it's very simple using Snap. You just run snap install cheat. Access denied. Let me rerun that command. We can pull up the help options for Cheat by running Cheat with --help. Here are the help options. The main ones that I use regularly are -L. This will list out the cheat sheets that are installed. In a minute, we are going to grab those cheat sheets because we don't have them yet. -D will list the cheat sheet directories, and -P will list the path. This is going to be helpful when it comes time to actually create our own cheat sheet. Perhaps the coolest part about this. We can also edit cheat sheets on the fly with -E. By running -D, this will actually list out the cheat sheet directories. And really cool, -C, this will allow you to colorize the output, and you can get very deep into colorizing it in different ways, depending on what you like to see in your terminal. Alright, so let's run Cheat with -L. We don't have a config file yet because this is our first time running it. So we're going to do Y to create a configuration file. And then we are prompted with whether we would like to download the community cheat sheets. Definitely want to download those, so we're going to do a Y for that. So it is cloning the repository, and the community cheat sheets are going to be saved to this path. So now if we rerun Cheat with -L, we have a listing of all of our various cheat sheets. So let's run Cheat on the ls command. So here's the cheat sheet for the ls command. By default, it is actually applying pagination or pagination, like if you were using the less command. We can also configure that in the config file. By running Cheat with --conf, this will show you where the configuration file is. So let's go ahead and open up the configuration file using our nano text editor. This is the configuration file for Cheat. The main things that I'm interested in changing are going to be colorize. We're going to change colorize from false to true. So this will now add default colorization rules to every cheat sheet that we query, and we don't have to provide it with any options to do so. It'll do it automatically. Now you can head over to this GitHub page, and there are a ton of different styles. You have to try them out to actually know what they're going to look like in your terminal. The default style is this one right here. You can get very deep into trying different styles out. And the last thing is you might want to use a pager, you might not. I actually don't like using the pager, so I'm going to comment this out. I just want it to all be dumped to the screen. And that's it. Control X and Y, enter. So now if we run Cheat on ls, we don't need to provide anything to colorize it. It automatically colorizes it. We're not using any pager, so it just executes and dumps it to the screen. And that's what it looks like. Very useful. Now if we run Cheat on ADB, there's no cheat sheet for ADB. That's kind of disappointing. And you're definitely not going to find a cheat sheet for key event codes, like the key event codes that we did in one of my previous videos. That's okay, because now we're going to exercise perhaps the best part of Cheat, and that is creating your own cheat sheet. So if I run Cheat with -D, we have 3 different types of cheat sheets available to us. We have the community cheat sheets, we have work cheat sheets, and we have personal. When you create your own, typically they're going to go inside of the personal directory. We currently do not have any. So if we were to open up one of these cheat sheets inside of the community path, to give you an idea of what a cheat sheet actually looks like. So let's open up the cheat sheet for LS. This is what the cheat sheet looks like. Alright, so this is where I'm now going to show you my GitHub repository. I have a separate GitHub repository that I have also called Cheat Sheets using LeetSpeak. This is where you can find most of my personal cheat sheets. You want a cheat sheet on Drozer. You want a real cheat sheet, an extensive cheat sheet on ADB. You want a cheat sheet on key event codes. You can get it from over here. I walk you through the different ways of installing Cheat, like I just showed you from the command line using snap, or just like with the install page for Cheat, these are the instructions to install it manually. This might not be updated to the latest version though, so keep that in mind. You can click on the releases page to get more information. Here's a link to the install page. So these are my personal cheat sheets. You can expand this section right here, and it gives you instructions to manually copy a cheat sheet over to the personal cheat sheet directory. So I have cheat sheets for forensic commands, all sorts of stuff. I even have provided a script that helps you automate the process of copying many cheat sheets over to the path. Haven't used it in a while. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that. But as of right now, here's a list of the majority of my current cheat sheets. I just added one for key event. So here is the key event cheat sheet. Typically always include some ASCII art because you guys know I'm into my ASCII art. It starts with a YAML header. This helps you search for specific commands. If I want to search for specific commands or cheat sheets related to something like Android or ADB, that's where adding these YAML headers actually really help. Okay, without getting too deep into this, I'm going to show you what this looks like. We're going to click on raw. Okay, so after clicking on raw, this brings us to this page. We're going to do Control A to select everything, Control C to copy. This is just one way that you can get this. You could just do a git clone of the entire repository. That will give you access to all the cheat sheets, or you can download them individually, however you choose to do it. We're going to go back to the command line. We're going to run cheat with -d. This gives us our path to where we store our personal cheat sheets. I'm going to create a file and open up that file all at once inside of my personal cheat sheet directory. You don't add on extensions to this. You have to come up with a name, and the name has to not be in use by another cheat sheet. So we're going to call this cheat sheet key event. And I'm going to paste that cheat sheet inside of the prompt. Once again, this is what the cheat sheet looks like at the top. This is your YAML header. You won't see this when you actually run a cheat on this command. Control X, Y, enter. So now I should be able to access that cheat sheet. I'm going to run cheat followed by the name of that cheat sheet, which is key event. And here is our newly created cheat sheet. This is absolutely amazing. Once again, unfortunately, this type of video, it may not get a lot of views. And that's unfortunate because this is really an incredibly valuable thing to understand. This is very important to my workflow because you cannot remember all these commands. You want to have access to them. You want to have access to them quick. And as you know, working in the terminal, it really matters how things are presented to you and the colorization. This check marks all the boxes for me. I love this, absolutely love it. So you can see all the commands, they appear in color. We have the actual values showing up in purple. It's perfect. So you can just reference this cheat sheet, and if you want to open up the camera using an ADB shell input command, now you know where to quickly get that command. You're going to reference key event 27. Very, very, very easy. And this is a custom cheat sheet that I created. You're not going to find this anywhere else. All right, so that's going to be it for this video. I showed you 3 of my go-to tools when it comes to interacting with cheat sheets, and my favorite, which is Cheat. Head over to the GitHub repository and do a git clone. Get those cheat sheets that I have up there for you guys. Those are my personal cheat sheets. I add to that repository regularly. And if you haven't done so, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, okay? It really helps with the algorithm, and it helps with my channel. Keep in mind, we also have that line straight into the lab. It is open, you can call. And as always, keep learning and stay fresh. We'll see you in the next video.
You have to keep learning and stay fresh. Fresh forensics, baby.